you think of superheroes, you think of Batman, Superman, or Spider-Man. People with tragic beginnings who decided to prevent crime as they matured. Harold Atkins and Eddy Zheng are two men who rose from the depths of poverty and incarceration and are now known as individuals who give back to the community in hopes to redeem themselves. These men are superheroes coming from a new origin.
Happy New Breath, everyone. My name is Eddy Zheng. We can have regrets, we can have a lot of disappointments, but it's what are we going to do today, right now, and what we're going to do tomorrow and the future that matters. At the age of 12, I left China and came to the United States. I didn't have a choice when I came over to the United States of America. The challenge immediately that I had to face and deal with is the language barrier, the cultural differences, and the generation gap. And that is traumatizing for me. I'm trying to find a place that I can fit in. And I couldn't fit into the American culture because I didn't understand the language and I didn't get the opportunity to really get the nurturing and guidance I needed. And so I rely on my peers to get that feeling of belonging. So I make a series of poor choices that led me being locked up in prison for 19 years of my life in a state prison. And then after I got out of state prison, I had to do 2 more years in the federal prison because I'm not a citizen of the United States, so I was ordered deported.
What I think triggered a lot of the emotions that came up before I committed the shooting that I was convicted of and sentenced to 6-year state prison was more around access. You guys know them top ramen noodles? In the prison system, you could probably convince somebody to take someone else's life for a couple boxes of those. That's very small level thinking, right? Prison for me was slow. Prison for me was boring. But prison also, for me, was a blessing in disguise, now that I think back. It was all of the community-based organizations that came into the prison, provided me with mentorships, provided me with a better way of living my life.
My life-changing moment came when I was able to go back to San Quentin, where volunteer professors from around the different universities around the Bay Area, they go inside San Quentin to provide free education for us. I can get an associate arts degree. So when I came out of prison, I wanted to be out here to do the work to engage young people, to reduce violence, address gang issues, and do prevention, do mediation, try to just support young people and pointing them in the right direction and provide them with resources. Not only do I help support the Asian and Pacific Island population, but I also embrace all the different cultures, working with African Americans, working with the Latino population, just trying to use cultural exchange opportunities to promote racial harmony.
佢哋就嗰啲全部都係第三行業服務業多嘅。
So I was sharing with them of how African American came to the Baby Hunters Point. It's because of the World War II, when the war happened. So a lot of folks from down south, from different areas, the part of the country, came over here to work. However, after the war is over, then the economy left. The jobs are gone. So the African Americans still settled down. And when the Asian immigrants that came over, there's a lot of resentment towards the immigrants because they don't feel that they took ownership of the community. You know, they came here to kind of compete for the lack of resources.
走得还好，为什么会这么壮？它非裔的文化还有他们的都是跟亚裔的有很多相同的地方，所以在很多我们种菜啊、种植物上有很多相同。那人对人上面历史上面也很多相同的地方，所以我们怎么样去一起生活在同一个地区里面呢？那是我们要提倡的。
他在叫我们，
我们可以去那边看一看，我们去那边看一看。
I was speaking with this elderly woman. And she was just talking about, oh, how wonderful it is for all these different crops and these plants to be able to grow together, you know, instead of in a big boxed up flower bed. The idea of the cross-cropping is to be able to get different plants to be able to sustain each other in that way. So I was sharing with her, you know, that's exactly what we should be doing with our community because our community is so diverse with different people from different backgrounds. So now, just like cross-cropping if we are able to really learn about each other's cultural history, identity, in different spaces, then we're able to live in harmony.
Commissioner Eddy, he always stands out because he's forward-thinking. He always tries to find a way to have open communication between different sectors of people and find solutions that really fit the problems. We need him, and we need more like him.
So when I was released, I had a life plan written out, and I've accomplished almost everything I wanted to accomplish on that list. I wanted to work with youth. I'm here at the office, everybody. Reach one. So this is where the magic happens. When you think about each one, reach one, we take a three-pronged approach. We have life skills programming, art space programming, and academic tutoring. To me, that was right up my alley in regards to stopping that pipeline to prison. Time to go to work.
And welcome back to Bay Area Focus. From playwriting to financial literacy, Each One, Reach One teaches young people all kinds of critical skills. Harold Atkins and Angel Carrion will give us all the details. And Angel, I want to start off with you because you actually have gone through this program. Tell me about your story.
I met Harold when I was in juvenile hall, probably my first year in. I did 2 years in maximum security. He came in talking about his experiences in prison, and it kind of helped a lot of us in there because we were able to relate to him. If it wasn't for Harold and many other people that helped me throughout my time in juvenile hall, I don't really see myself becoming a San Francisco Youth Commissioner or becoming a Juvenile Advisory Council member at the age of 19. If it wasn't for mentors like Harold, then I wouldn't really have had like that push to keep doing something with myself. Even when I felt like I didn't want it or I didn't need it, they would still be there getting on my case about what it is I'm doing and what it is I should be doing.
I can't tell you enough that you're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job. And one day, you're gonna be sitting across a chessboard like this with a young person from the city, getting your butt kicked like you're doing me right now, right? But you're gonna be proud, right? You're gonna be proud, because you know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Harold is a superhero because he made it out of a very unfortunate situation, and he made it out on top. He made it out as a great father, a wonderful coach. He continues to work with kids in juvenile hall, and he utilizes his experiences to help kids understand that what they're going through isn't always just so bad. You can make something positive out of something negative, right? It's all about perspective.
All right, man. Easy. Yeah. Do you want to play next week?
Yes, coach!
Right, coaches? Do you want to play next week? If you want to play next week, we go out and execute even better than y'all did just now in this first half. Y'all hear that?
Yes, coach!
I focus on giving back to the communities. That's one of my personal values. So I make sure that I'm always either volunteering as a coach, volunteering in the community in some other capacity as a board member or whatnot. My cell phone! Oh, you got my phone. I think my number one goal is the work that I've done with my own sons in regards to understanding education, the importance and the value of giving back to the community.
This is going to be my second year coaching a flag football team, and I take a bunch of stuff from my dad. The speeches he says after his games to his coaching methods to like how he walks, how he talks. He teaches other kids how to get out of that situation that he was in, and it's amazing to me.
When you work at something over and over and over again, what happens?
You develop?
Is that only football?
No.
High school, college, right?
Yeah.
That's the formula. In the beginning, when I played football, I only liked football because you could hit people and not get in trouble. Growing up how I grew up, that was the only thing that actually brought me to the sport. One day, these kids are gonna have a job. They're gonna work with, a company that has, maybe hundreds of people. And they'll have the ability to make good decisions or the right decisions fast, how to communicate with others, right? How to work towards the goal as a unit, and then ultimately how to be successful. I'm Clark Kent. I'm a community member, right? I'm just the average guy trying to chop away at a huge issue. The people who mentored me and continue to mentor me today, those are the superheroes. I wouldn't quite put myself in that category yet. But hopefully, you know, I'll make that transition from Clark Kent to Superman.
Harold and Eddy are just a few examples of modern-day superheroes. Two ordinary men doing extraordinary things. They inspire us to do great and constantly give back to the community.
Punishment does not work, right? So when the prison system did not offer us too many of those programs, that we were able to find those programs ourselves, right? To really take the initiative to do that. I think, you know, overall, when we talk about mass incarceration and mass criminalization of people of color, I think one of the biggest issues is the front end, that there's no preventive measures to really invest in education.
There are some clear markers that something's going wrong. You can look at attendance rates, right? You can look at grades. You can, like you said, reading levels. You can look at the way kids act out. If we were to capture kids right then and start our restorative stuff then, you wouldn't need mass incarceration. In fact, what you would need is more classrooms.
We all have the potential to be just like Harold and Eddy, to be superheroes. It is the potential that resides in us, the will to help, no matter what origin we come from.